Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is Welcome to Plathville Season 7, Episode 8, The Day Before I Do.
The day before the earth stood still, the day after tomorrow.
This episode was so funny.
But for like different reasons, though. I mean, there was just generally comedic, humorous things that happened, but then also a lot of imagined storylines that we had going on in our heads, too.
It should be a wild ride. A little description. With Lydia and Zach's upcoming nuptials, discontent grows amongst the Plaths. Kim and Isaac struggle to see past Zach's red flags. Veronica's unexpected attendance has everyone on edge, and Ethan makes a dramatic exit.
There's no arguing with that. Yeah, that definitely happened.
I was worried he was going to run people over.
It was a legitimate concern to have, because it seemed like there was a lot of people around.
Can I tell you, the Uncle Buck car, when he was driving through, I don't know if it was driving, when he was
tearing through.
He was speed racing off the farm. I had a look because for a minute I questioned, does a car that old have a rear view mirror?
It has a cigarette lighter. Probably a couple of them.
I don't know why. Like, I thought that was in the same vein as seatbelts. That, like, maybe it just didn't have a rear view mirror and he totally could have run someone over.
Let's be honest. Even if he had rear view mirrors, don't think he'd be checking them at this point.
The car he's working on in the episode, he doesn't even have a windshield.
Correct. Yeah. Well, I mean, that one's a little bit older. The Beverly Hillbillies one.
I just felt like maybe we were missing some parts that could have made this vehicle even more dangerous. I don't know if it's road safe.
Perhaps there was a giant pancake that was blocking his view.
I don't understand the joke.
From Uncle Buck.
Oh.
He was making huge pancakes.
Yeah, Ethan doesn't cook.
He doesn't know how to.
There's only a few days until the wedding, and what has happened to the Plath house? I'm assuming this is why it sat on the market for so long, because it's a fucking mess inside.
Okay, they get on Zach about being messy. And look, the room didn't look like this when he moved in last week. I will give you that. The room was a mess.
I am going to defend, though, it was a lot of boxes, cardboard boxes with all his stuff inside of it, because he moved.
He moved. And also, like, have you guys never seen ADHD piles before? It seemed like there might be a method to the madness.
This is organized.
Well, yeah.
It's organized madness.
Organized chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think Moriah was taking better care of her room down in the main, with Blackjack just destroying everything before she ducked out of there?
No, and that's what seems unfair about their criticism. We saw Ethan's underwear on the couch at some point.
Because he's just crashing there, too.
Can we all agree that Ethan wears the same outfit? It's not that he has a pack of Black Hanes t-shirts and the same jeans. That is the same outfit that he wears every day.
I think he sleeps in it. He wakes up the next morning and just kind of, are there any visible stains or anything? He just kind of brushes things off and then keeps going with the rest of his life. Yes, just keep it going. I thought you were going to say, I think we could all agree that Ethan probably still wears tighty whities, and those were the undies that we saw on the couch that Zach found, probably. Probably some tighty whitey briefs. I feel like he's a briefs man, needs the support.
I'll take your word on that. I don't want to think too deeply about it. Everyone's gathering in the house, obviously except for Micah and Veronica, because they don't want Veronica here, but also she was never going to stay here.
You're not welcome, but it's kind of weird that you're not here.
I mean, I beat you to it because I was never going to stay here.
It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of scenario, which they love to set up a great damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It's insulting, Veronica, that you won't stay here in the house with us, but also we don't want you here.
I would be visibly distraught if you were to step foot into this building.
Moriah is back from, I don't know how long she's been in Montana. We got zero footage of her from that move, aside from her pulling out of the parking lot. The parking lot?
The driveway.
I mean, we might as well. All of these homes are businesses,
for how
aren't
many
they?
cars? Yeah, how many cars do they usually have, depending on the number of people that are there? But it was the Plath family house that she drove away, got pelted by a snowball on her way out, right in the back of the van there.
What a warm welcome home to find out the whole house has been totally rearranged. Isaac has moved into your bedroom because Zach moved into the attic. And then
the attic with the tiny doors that Carly cannot stand. Those little half doors that terrify you.
So scary.
They made the house hunt very difficult.
There's a reason Zach is spending a lot of time in that room. I mean, I have other theories, but I'm also starting to wonder if the demonic spirits that possess those little crevices are coming out at night.
They're just calling to him and that he just has to return to them. If I was Zach and I were in this scenario, because Isaac's getting very upset. He's already voicing about how Zach just tends to retreat to his room a lot. He doesn't really help out with any of the chores around the house or making meals or spending time with any of us. Honestly, I wouldn't want to either. Like with these,
I do think
people.
that's part of it.
Like he's avoiding, definitely, but it's probably uncomfortable, especially knowing what you know about most of these people's opinions of you. It would be very uncomfortable to spend any sort of extra amount of time together.
They start off on such a good foot together. Why would he feel uncomfortable in their house?
Yeah. When the first meal that you sat down and shared together, at least on camera, was when you kept laughing at him. You and your
then
buddies.
Asked him if he was gay.
Yeah. You and your buddies at your friend's cabin, Isaac. So, like, yeah, it's not really that much of a surprise that Zach is trying to avoid some of these interactions.
Look, the house is probably uncomfortable, but also I kind of think Zach's spending a lot of time up in that room with the door closed because the closer they're getting to the wedding.
He's practicing.
I think there's...
He's rehearsing.
I should figure out how to say this in a...
Nope.
There's no way to put it lightly.
No.
He's up there jerking it.
Oh, boy.
And I think that Isaac's upset because that used to be his room. That was secluded in another area of the house.
That was
in which he had his privacy.
His jerkin spot.
Not just his jerkin spot, but now that he's moved on and he's in a relationship, that's where he and Kaylin went to be away from the rest of the family.
Oh,
and now he's all exposed in the downstairs bedroom.
Too close to Barry's parental supervision downstairs.
Barry's listening. He's got his ear up against the wall.
Barry has cameras installed. He's filming everything. He has those little signs outside the door. As soon as you walk in, video surveillance on the premises.
Where was Moriah going to sleep? Because Lydia is in the room with the little girls is. How many bedrooms are in this house?
I don't know.
They have to be running out. And also, Lydia
Kaylin was there. Kaylin was there too. She was just waltzing through the house when Isaac went bumbling around.
I'm convinced she lives there.
Probably.
I think she's always in that room with Isaac.
So maybe she crashed. Maybe Moriah crashed with Kaylin. Is that what's going on?
Who knows?
She slept in between Isaac and Kaylin. There you go.
Lydia's wearing her clothes. Like, she's been gone for a few weeks. It was funny that she thought that her backup plan was going to be that she could come back and live at the house again if things didn't work out. And it's only been a short period of time and they've already fully kicked her out.
Oh, as soon as you leave, Moriah, we have adjusted all of our lives to your non-existence now. Very little impact as far as you leaving, the devastation that's caused here for us. Not so much. We're moved on.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Pretty much.
So there are 4 days until the wedding, and Lydia gets a call from Micah, and he tells her that she may have to rework the seating arrangement because Veronica's decided that she might come to the wedding.
She's flipping and flopping.
Maybe it's a no, maybe it's a yes.
Well, yes, because she still hasn't decided. So it's still a TBD, hey, heads up, this might be a change in the seating arrangement, which Lydia has enough things to do. They still haven't come together with the playlist that they're going to have at the wedding, right? Right, Carly?
Know that. Night before we had to get on a plane to go to our wedding.
Yeah.
Still didn't have a playlist.
Well, and then we heard about this thing called Spotify. And so we were like, oh, we don't have to go through and
I'm not going to have to pirate all this music.
Yeah, pirate all this stuff from YouTube and then convert them to MP3s. We can just make a playlist and call it a day. So that saved us a lot of time.
But Veronica said she wasn't going to come because she sent Lydia a long, rambling text. Isn't that how it came off? Lydia was trying to make it sound diplomatic.
See, I thought that this was Lydia's way of throwing shade, like that it was a nice, long message.
Okay.
So she didn't say anything too disparaging outright. but
It was church shade.
it was church shit. Yeah, like she was not happy with it. It was terribly long, frightfully long, and I didn't even have time to read the whole message, but my basic understanding was the general TLDR was she's unable to attend, so like Moriah, we continued to plan without her.
What do you think the problem was? Because maybe they moved Isaac. Maybe they moved Micah to be at the table with Isaac and Kaylin and Ethan and Olivia.
Oh,
that's her name this episode. Tegan.
See, I was
whatever the robot's names are.
I was ready to give Ethan grace because every time we're talking about Lydia and then sometimes we say Olivia, so like we've mixed up those names. No, he straight up mixed up his current girlfriend's name with his ex-wife when he was talking about it. He's just so used to saying Olivia, and she's always tip of the tongue. Well, maybe she wasn't tip of the tongue enough.
Maybe the tip of the tongue is missing, Olivia. I don't know.
Maybe that was the problem. Yeah, there wasn't enough tip of the tongue going on.
That was a really awkward moment. I got my girls mixed up was even the worst way to put it. It made the whole thing even more uncomfortable because Olivia's not your girl anymore.
Not your girl.
No.
Definitely not. How many times has Lydia had this conversation with Veronica, though? Because it looks like she's thrown her phone and the screen is cracked. Something, how many times does it have to be the flip-flopping of yes, no, maybe so? Veronica's attendance is in question.
Just leave a chair there. Is it going to ruin your farm wedding to have an empty chair?
Okay, well, it's going to be very complicated because the seating arrangement, I'm sure that she knows if I put Veronica at a table with Ethan and Isaac, they're going to lose their goddamn minds.
Okay, but worst case, well, I guess this is best case scenario for them, is that Micah comes alone. So then there's an empty chair. Micah can just get up and move to the other table whenever he wants. They're acting like people are going to sit at the table and you're not going to get up ever again until the end of the wedding.
I don't know. By the
Kim
way,
Kim Plath
well, Kim will. She's going to plant and park. And then see what the thing is with what we learned from this episode was that the Plath boys are probably just going to be in a truck somewhere. That's their natural habitat. That's their...
They can't leave four wheels.
When they feel like the world doesn't understand them, they have to retreat to the seclusion and safety of their 4x4 big-ass truck.
Okay, were they hotboxing in that truck? Because that's what I think was going on.
Okay.
That, or they were consuming some type of substance.
I think there was at least drinking going on at a minimum.
Because everyone's face was red.
At one point when Veronica was going up to catch them, or when she was looking for Micah, she
catch them.
She inadvertently caught them because
to ruin their fun.
She told Micah when he came out of the car, because Ethan and Isaac were getting upset that Veronica was getting too close to the car. And Veronica was like, "Oh, I thought you guys were up to no good. I thought you were doing mischievous things in the car." And Micah's like, "Oh, no. No, that's not it."
Yes.
I believe this is a definite possibility. And Kim Plath is refilling the flasks. She's got a bunch of them strapped to the inside of her thigh.
That's what that blanket was that she had wrapped around her the whole time. It has little pockets in it. She's going to bring it to the wedding, too.
What are you buying? What are you selling?
Yeah, she's selling. She ain't giving away anything for free.
Pretty much.
How is this? This is going to be crazy to watch because Zach thinks that they've kind of come around to him. He has no idea that they are very upset with the living situation about how he's been as a roommate. And then the preview for the next episode.
Wild times. It's only going to get crazier. But I get what you're saying, where Zach feels like he's at least making progress. He was helping Ethan with a car. That's big. He was working on his Model A Beverly Hillbillies vehicle. Heading out California way, probably very soon.
Can you just put a 2x4 in a car and then screw a windshield on it?
I don't know a lot about cars. I'll be the first one to admit.
Is that going to pass an inspection?
I don't think this car's getting inspected. I think historical vehicles, I don't know what the stipulations are for that, the requirements on that. I would assume that there would probably be some metal working that you would need to do. Most of these cars are made out of metal.
I mean, I'm starting to question his credentials when it comes to being a mechanic and fixing these cars.
If you're just sticking a piece of wood in there and then screwing a windshield onto it, I feel like that's something I could do. That is a DIY sort of fix.
You know, that's where we start to get alarmed. If we're capable of it.
If it's the same level of work that I would be able to do, you should be concerned. But no, things are great. They're driving around doing laps in the driveway. It's good, right? Is this a good time? It's just a good, wholesome family get together here.
Didn't Ethan look like some kind of like old-timey, like silent movie mustache villain as he was driving that car away?
The mustache is out of control. He's leaning closer to Colonel Mustard for me.
I was very upset that nobody went and got a haircut. Now we're going to go to the day before the wedding. It's about to be the rehearsal.
Can we go to, a barber? Can we do, because this was when
Drive that truck to a barber shop, please.
Because when Ethan was conversing with Kim, it was the day before. So it was the day of the rehearsal, day before the wedding. And that was when I made the realization where it was like, oh, I think Ethan sleeps in these clothes too, because he had bed head. Like he just rolled out of bed. He didn't even
bring a brush.
He didn't bring a brush. He didn't bring a toothbrush. He didn't bring a spare pack of clothes or anything. It's just what you see is what you get. And that's it, pretty much. But what's Kim doing? She is thumbing through. She's touching every single plate. She's
palming all of the salad plates.
Fingers all over. I mean, she is washing them, I hope. I assume.
Well, that's what she was doing. This is the most housework that Kim has had to do in many years.
And she's exhausted.
Like, this is upsetting because usually this is Lydia's job, but it's her wedding day.
It would be presumptuous to expect Lydia to do the dishes for her wedding day. So Kim doesn't want to overstep. She knows that would be a bridge too far.
What about the little girls?
They're growing up in a different world. They have a different experience as far as the housework, cooking and cleaning goes.
There's a lot that needs to be done.
But I think that's where Kim realized the mistakes that she made. The brainwashing took a little too well. She soaked in Lydia's brain all of that messaging. It was rooted around in there, and it really oversaturated. So this is where Kim's like, Lydia can't even lighten up and have a drink with me. She can't do this stuff. So I need to ease up on some of the programming here this time around.
Otherwise, these ones will be no fun too.
Yeah, I can't have 3 more wet blankets here coming up the ranks.
Kim has not said a lot until now, and she's decided 24 hours before the wedding.
She has decided
that she's seen a lot of red flags.
She don't like Zach now.
The red flags are as follows.
Oh, let's hear them.
He doesn't really help around the house, which is really rich to come from the mouth of Kim Plath.
He doesn't delegate tasks like me.
Yeah, the woman who did not delegate tasks to any of her male children, who made all of the girls do all of the work.
Until Moriah said, no, I'm not doing it. And then that all fell on Lydia. And then
Lydia did double the work.
Lydia did everything.
The woman whose son was not capable of feeding himself while Olivia went out of town, who had to cook him 3 meals and put them in the refrigerator so that this man could survive, is upset that the man that Lydia wants to marry isn't self-sufficient from what she's seen.
Yeah, when Isaac was describing, he just kind of wanders around the house and then just flops on the couch and looks on his phone. And I was like, man, it sounds like he's ready to be a father based on the Cody Brown standards over on Sister Wives. That's pretty much the experience that Christine got with her husband for several decades.
I would love to have known what Barry would have been doing if we rewound the clock.
He was working. It's different.
He, to be fair, didn't come home and sit on his phone. He sat on the couch with a bottle of kombucha.
Different. Yeah, that is different in some regards here.
Also, the other big problem is that Lydia, when they were picking their colors for the wedding, wanted hunter green. But Zach said, no, we're going to go with blue because I look amazing in blue.
Look, green's not my color season. Okay.
You cannot blame a man for knowing what colors he does and does not look good in.
And Lydia went along with it too. She loves blue, one of her favorite colors.
Was she trying to talk herself into that?
That sounded like that. Or at least that's how it was edited
She
together.
had nothing else to say. Just, we both like the color blue.
Blue's real good.
You had to pick a color.
Blue is one of my favorite colors, too, I think is what she said.
Green's the other one.
Green would be the first choice, but if you had to compromise on one that you're both excited about, then blue. So is that the thing? Like, this is just the major disconnect that a lot of the Plath family don't understand, is that I think they get upset where Lydia's role was to always go along with what everybody else says. So now that she's doing that for her soon-to-be spouse, it's upsetting to everyone because they're like, oh no, Lydia's not making these decisions. She's not part to that. But I think she is. I think they reach a consensus, and then the Plaths can't wrap their minds around Lydia coming to a consensus with someone.
Well, I do think they're reaching for anything to try to prove that he's controlling, because that's the narrative that they create about every outside person who comes into this family that they don't like.
Well, and like the other kind of weird thing that's being unspoken here, as well as like, oh, if he can't provide for her with money, with like a job or a career, because it seems like he doesn't have that initiative or not enough initiative from what they've seen.
Doesn't he already have a job for when they come home from Germany? What was he supposed to go get a job right now? They were leaving.
Yeah, how are you going to do that? Well, and so are they seeing it as like, oh, if he's not able to do that, where then Lydia doesn't have to worry about that, he needs to contribute in these other ways, but he's not doing that either?
I just think they're doing anything possible to be judgmental of him. And the concern about the wedding colors, I kind of can understand from Kim's perspective, but then those are things you bring up when they're happening. Like maybe that day after you witness that interaction, you're alone with Lydia and you say, hey, I thought that it seemed like you really wanted Hunter Green, but then you ended up picking blue because that's what Zach wanted.
No, I'm marrying Zach Wise, not Hunter Green. His name's Zach, Mom. We've talked about this.
Oh, I forgot. But that's a fair thing for Kim to bring up, that you can frame it differently of, hey, something that I learned in my miserable 20 plus year marriage was that I acquiesced a lot to what your father wanted, and in the long run, it made me an unhappy, bitter person. And so maybe that might not be the way you want to start off your marriage.
I don't think Kim has that level of clarity with herself and her own experience. I think she blames Barry for a lot, because she even blames Barry for, this is the reason why we're here today, is because Barry was so eager to give Lydia's hand in marriage to this guy who we don't even know. And I wish we knew him better, but Barry already said. So you're already going along with this too, Kim. If you're saying that Barry said that we have to do this, why are you still doing what Barry says?
She wants Barry to be the one who ends this. That's my theory about why she hasn't said anything.
She can't be the one to bring it up.
Yes, I think she was really hoping that Zach living in the house with Barry would lead to Barry taking back his blessing. And that is not happening. And so now it's 24 hours before the wedding and she's starting to spiral.
Well, and she's getting upset because Barry's kind of stealing her thunder as like this new, fun, approving.
He's got Riz now.
He has Riz.
He's got Riz, guys.
Not Riz. He's
Drip.
Rizzy.
He's learning all of the slang words so that he can get online and talk to some Gen Z or Gen Alpha kids. I don't know.
He's trying to hit it off with Moriah's friends. Yeah. Oh, Strawberry Fest. Strawberry Fest.
Fresca?
Strawberry Fest. Getting fresh with Strawberry Fest.
I forgot her name already. We'll meet her again next season when she reveals herself to be Barry's new girlfriend.
Yeah, probably.
It's almost like they just want to get married because they want to fuck in Germany.
You know, I blame the youth pastor for suggesting that, hey, you know what? This would be a great trip for you guys to do this mission trip to Germany. You're going to be going as part of the church. I think it would be great if you guys were married, though, for that trip. That was the suggestion that started this whole plan in motion for this accelerated timeline. So maybe you should go talk to their pastor and be like, dude,
why did you say this to my child?
What are you doing? I think he was just trying to save a buck. He didn't want to have to get two different rooms for them. He was like, you know what would be great? is if you guys were married, then I would just have to book one room, and that's all we're going to expense back.
We can only pay for one Airbnb for the time that you're going to be there.
So it is what it is.
And we don't want you to backslide or make any mistakes. So,
well, yeah, and it would be
while
improper,
you're on this trip that we paid for,
terribly improper for you to be in a room together if you're not married. So I think you should definitely get married.
We did get confirmation that Kim is considering starting an OnlyFans. I mean, it'd be the foot fetish category, which we already know that she is a big fan of the autonomy of the foot.
Anatomy of the foot, yes. Well, her ears perked up when she was talking about Tegan's, and she had to know immediately, Tegan, do you have one? Because I need some tips.
Can I look at it?
Well, I need some tips and tricks on how to grow and expand my interested and eager following.
How is the site different from Airbnb? Because I've become very familiar.
I like that interface. I'm very comfortable with that.
Yeah. Is there like an app? Like, do you get messages in the middle of the night?
Can I get like a plug-in where then that way it's like, do you want to rent the Airbnb? Any other additional services that I can provide for you?
See, she's in a tough spot, though, because that is an Airbnb rule that you cannot use their locations to film adult content.
Correct. Oh, so that eliminates a lot of her.
Where is she going to be able to film her foot videos?
But if it's her.
Do you think it's video or is it going to be still photos?
Probably photos. Eventually she'll get into video, though.
It's the path for money.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. So I think for her, like, as an owner of an Airbnb, are you violating the terms? Because I know you can't rent them for, like,
well, I guess she doesn't have
shoots.
to pay to rent her own place.
Right. So, like, is that a user stipulation? But, like, it's her property. So if she's not listing it for that, I think she'd be able to get away with it. Just don't tell Barry.
He's going to get her kicked off of Airbnb.
He just wants links. We've already established that, too.
Veronica shows up to the rehearsal because her therapist advised her that she should definitely go. Is this the same therapist who you all have let us know was also on the TLC show versions? Like, she's a TV therapist, the one we saw last week?
Yeah, if that was at her behest, that session didn't go well. So I wouldn't be, like, very quick to suggest, yeah, Veronica, I think you should go and be a part of this wonderful ceremony.
You really showed that you are totally here and rational.
The bigger person, that you're able to move forward without resentment or any sort of backlash that could, come from this or anything. So
you're not going to do anything vindictive.
I don't think that would be my suggestion in a professional setting.
To be fair, she was very well behaved. And I know y'all hate Veronica now.
Okay.
But in comparison to the rest of the people present at this rehearsal, she behaved herself.
I think that was what we were realizing, was because if you take away everything else, this is the magic of the Plath family train of thought. Everybody jumps on the same thing because Veronica gets blamed for a lot of stuff. You guys are forgetting Veronica is the scapegoat in the system right now.
It used to be Moriah,
yes.
Then it was Olivia, now it's Veronica.
So everything is going to be Veronica's fault. If you're having an issue with someone else, because a lot of this is people directly having an issue with Lydia, but they can't say that they have an issue with Lydia's decision-making here for her wedding. So they direct their anger and their wrath, and everything else, negative energy, gets put towards Veronica. If we strip away all of the descriptions, all of the things that people are saying, the takes that you have, and you just look at what was done by which individuals for this episode, Veronica didn't do shit. She didn't do anything.
No, I will say, though, she loves to communicate through her clothing. And so we are going to deduct points for the fact that she's wearing the Melania Trump I really don't care, do you coat, the jacket. Do you remember that jacket?
But I mean, like, for other reasons, yeah, I would be upset that somebody would wear that.
The funny thing is, I don't think a lot of the Plath kids can read. So it was probably a lost message to begin with. I think she was too cold to do anything.
Well, and I don't think that was her intention. She is trying to be respectful of Lydia's wedding. That's what we're here for. So let's just focus on that. Veronica had plenty of opportunities where she could have confronted people. She could have said some shit. And I mean, I guess if you're looking at it in the way of, oh, she didn't go and say hi to people, she didn't approach people, I don't think that would have helped anything.
No, and that's a two-way street. Nobody came up to her except for Moriah.
And Amber.
And Amber. But I guess of the people who had the biggest problem with her being there, which would be Ethan, Isaac, I think Kim too.
Tegan.
None of them were going up and saying anything either.
Well, and that's the damned if you do, damned if you don't, because right now she is keeping her distance. She's not going and interacting with these people. So she's a cold shoulder bitch. And that's what's horrible about the decisions that she's making for how she's presenting herself here today. If she came up to you and was being nice and polite and fake like you would want her to be, you guys would get upset about that too. So it's literally, you cannot win because you are the scapegoat. Anything you do is going to be wrong. You're going to fuck it up because they said you're the fuck up.
She's spending a lot of time with the animals, though. She's
horse
really
therapy.
Bonding with them.
Horse therapy and cow therapy is what Veronica is here for today.
Thank God somebody fed those animals because Lydia's busy today. She's got other things to do.
It takes an entire swath of people to cover the responsibilities that Lydia was shouldering on her own on this farm.
Micah's not supposed to leave her side. That's part of this arrangement, was that she came, but he promised the therapist as well.
They made a pact.
There was a pact that they are not supposed to be without one another. Because
sealed in blood, I'm sure.
She's afraid of what's going to happen if she's left alone. And of course, it takes 30 minutes for him to disappear.
No, I was going to say 30 seconds. That was going to be my first
He's there
guess.
and he's gone.
Well, because Isaac is in distress, and it takes a lot for Isaac to be in distress. He's not usually this upset.
They forgot his sauce at Raising Cane's.
That must have been what happened, yeah. My
You're
nuggies
so
were cold. He doesn't know what to do with these big emotions.
He's melting down in the truck about just the whole day. Everything is horrible. He hates Zach. He hates Veronica. He needs Micah to put down the meal that he literally only ate one fry out of to come talk him down in the truck.
Because again, the truck, safe space. That's where we can talk about our emotions. Even though we're not really going to do that. Basically, Isaac's just going to shit on Zach for being a lazy bum and not helping out around the house, because I'm sure Isaac goes above and beyond as far as housework and straightening up and everything else, the meals and prepping for all of that, I'm sure.
He sprays propane on a grill every once in a while.
He sprayed lighter fluid on some charcoal. You don't spray propane.
I don't fucking know.
You don't respect propane? Ball! Even though, fun fact, propane is a liquid, and then it's turned into a gas. That's how that's liquid propane in the tank.
I don't know, I'm bored by it already.
Okay, there you go.
I'm not reading any instruction manuals.
Some of them you should. Yeah. The ones that can explode in flammable ways.
This very quickly turns into him ranting about Veronica, though.
Oh, well, there's a lot of connections here because it's just Isaac sees a preemptive mistake from Lydia, and it's the same mistake that Ethan made. It's the same mistake that Micah is continuing to make, even though he doesn't say that. But Micah brought it up. Micah's like, oh, yeah, that's what I'm dealing with, too, right now. Is I started dating someone, I thought she was great, and now she's a totally different person.
They even cite the devil in the suit and tie of how Moriah thought that she had this great guy too, and then he turned out to be a totally different person.
He was never a good guy. Why did you think you're an idiot because you thought that he was a good guy?
And also different situations, because like you said, he was not good from the beginning. Moriah's just easily fooled. The women, though, you all destroyed their mental health and turned them into unlikable people.
They're just worried that Zach is going to break Lydia the way that Moriah was broken by the devil in suit and tie. And if that happens, nothing's getting done on the farm. And that's a real big problem. We've already established how much work Lydia is responsible for.
They totally just wanted Lydia to be a spinster.
I think they were like, if we can clear her 20s, she's a lost cause. Like, she's going to get so focused in. But then that's the thing, is it's like Kim and Ethan were connecting on the point of like, you can't get to know somebody that well to marry them in a couple of months. But I also don't think that Kim and Ethan are capable of connecting with other humans on an emotional level, period. So the idea that Lydia can learn something about another person enough to know that she's comfortable to be marrying this person in a short amount of time is a completely foreign subject for them.
I'm just getting really irritated about them harping on the time period because it hasn't changed. It's not like she suddenly decided to get married faster than originally planned. You knew this from the start, and you're out of time. The time to complain about not having enough time to get to know him was a lot sooner than the day before the wedding.
Yeah, I think you missed your window as far as bringing up that formal complaint and to have those discussions. But meanwhile, Veronica she's on her own.
She's busy. She's found things to entertain herself with.
Kind of, yeah.
She's got an entire tray of false lashes in front of her.
She has a switchblade.
And a switchblade.
To defend herself, in case anyone gets unruly and approaches the truck too fast.
I cannot believe that did not end up being a point of contention. That Veronica, the crazy bitch who we think is possessed by demons, is sitting in Micah's truck with an open switchblade.
She's armed. Yeah, I think Amber caught a glimpse of that and she was like, I gotta get out of here.
Hi, bye.
Hi, nice to see you. See you around.
She was like, okay, I'm not dumb. I'm going to make sure she has nothing to hold against me today.
Right.
When she gets out of that truck.
So that way, I know if I hear...
She'll come for me last. I'll have time to run.
Yeah.
They were gone for like over an hour in this truck.
Which this was where our theory kind of takes credence. Because once Micah comes back, well, first of all, he can't find Veronica, even though she's 6'1" and standing in front of his truck. He walks past her 3 different directions, didn't see her. So maybe he's not really totally with it here.
He's not totally coherent.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were vaping in that truck and they were drinking out of a flask.
My suspicions about the drinking is because Micah's face is very red. His neck is red. His ears are red. And I mean, it did look cold. So maybe he was like a little wind whipped or something.
I don't think it was that cold.
It didn't look that cold. Well, I mean,
Tegan's wearing like a silk dress and a denim coat over it.
I thought she had a skirt on.
There were a lot.
That was in the
there were a lot of like
garage.
Duggar prairie skirts, weren't there?
Oh, it didn't look like a long skirt. It was like a mid-thigh skirt. It looked like something for, well...
She's going to take that hem up a little bit.
Something for the content. Yeah.
I don't think Veronica's wrong about being upset, though. Because you did promise that you weren't going to leave her. And then he does it. And she's not even that upset. She's just like, please don't do that again.
Yeah, or like, oh, here's ways that could have been handled better.
Just
like,
let me know.
You could have just told me before you left, or you could have texted me while you were gone, and maybe given like an ETA or something, just so I have a general idea. Plus, Veronica hasn't eaten. She doesn't even know where the food is. She's too scared to venture out here on her own because it's just a ton of people she doesn't know.
Just hiding in the barn.
Pretty much. She's about to start digging into these oats. She's getting desperate.
She's in a trough somewhere.
She's like, that's the crime here, is if, you haven't eaten yet. This is a big problem.
Ethan's in the garage again working on the car. The guys keep acting like they have so much to do to help with the wedding, but then they keep disappearing and doing stupid shit like this.
So I don't know. Was this filmed at a different time? Because then that was where I noticed.
He's upset about Veronica.
Oh, yeah.
About how she's there.
Here. Well, maybe he meant like here in town at that time. Because she didn't get there that morning.
She's somewhere within a radius of me, and I feel uncomfortable with that.
She's close enough to Cairo. He feels a disturbance in the force.
Why is he mocking Lydia again? Because he's talking about how God spoke to Lydia and told her to marry Zach. But God's not telling Lydia to listen to him. And that's what he's upset about.
Yeah, that tracks. I don't think God would be telling anyone to listen to Ethan fucking Plath. At all. Like 0 people should be listening to this man.
What do you think, though? Because Lydia obviously has been raised in this very patriarchal system where, I mean, Barry's at the top, but then Ethan's her oldest brother.
Yeah.
And she really has shrugged off what Ethan has had to say so far.
So is this just kind of like a moment where Ethan is realizing, oh no, if she says yes tomorrow, then she's under Zach's control and I don't have any say anymore.
I mean, that would be the way they would view the purpose of marriage.
As like a property transaction sort of thing.
The blank slate is now going over to Zach to be written on. So gross.
Yeah.
I think that Lydia lost respect for the people who are trying to intervene and tell her not to get married.
Here's the other magical thing about this too, because I feel like I've been kind of in Lydia's space. Like I can empathize with Lydia's circumstance here, where your family has this view of who you are as a person, and that's not who you actually are. And so then when you start making your own decisions or coming to your own conclusions, and then they're saying, oh, that's not like you. Well, it is like me because that's my decision that I made. So having those moments where Lydia's being told by everybody else in her family that they're concerned about how she's not behaving the way they expected her to behave, but then everything that has led her to this point has been in alignment with her values and her beliefs, her testimonies that she's received, her convictions. So how can you say that that's not it? It's like they don't even know her.
Which she said.
Yes.
She said she thinks Ethan doesn't know her very well.
Correct. So like that becomes apparent where then it's like, oh, okay. I don't know if Lydia's going to put the pieces together entirely of like, oh, that's a control thing. That's my family trying to fit me into the box of this is what Lydia does and this is what the expectation is.
Go back to people pleasing us. Be like that.
Please us. Don't please Zach. That doesn't work for me.
I just think she lost complete respect for Mama Plath when she went on Mum Springer.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that she lost respect for Ethan when he fought Barry in the driveway. So I think anything that they're going to say to her is going to fall flat. Things just keep escalating as the day goes on, because then there's no acknowledgement of Tegan from Veronica. But Veronica does say hello to Live, Laugh, and Love.
And that's what gets Ethan so upset, allegedly. Even though I think he's upset because he's thinking about Olivia right now, too. There's a lot of things that he's seeing in Veronica that's similar to how Olivia would behave. He's probably mad about the things that he's hearing Micah talk about, similar things that he felt, that he went through, that he has not worked through or addressed.
And I think he's been drinking.
And I think he's been drinking.
And as the time ticks away,
we know
it's getting harder and harder for him to control his anger.
The alcoholism is definitely a real thing in the Plath family, specifically when it comes to Kim and Ethan. And then we know from Olivia's experience and the things that she's talked about publicly now, his anger definitely comes out more after he's been drinking.
I felt terrible because Lydia is watching what's going on, even though she's busy doing everything she has to do as part of the rehearsal. But she knows that her brothers are upset.
She notices. Mm-hmm. It's noticeable.
Well, you really can't ignore it once Ethan starts heaving tables all over the place.
Throwing the tables. Those are rentals. Rental tables, sir.
Kim's not going to get her deposit back.
No, Barry's not. Yeah, I think Barry picked him up.
Yeah. Kim doesn't have the pocket change for that.
No,
That's why she's got to join OF.
Yes, exactly. So this is what's confusing, is for Ethan to throw a tantrum, because literally that is exactly what's happening, is he is chucking tables around. So he's saying that he's helping setting up when in fact he's causing a scene here. But then he's blaming Veronica. Veronica is the reason why I'm acting out of control.
Well, we've got to blame a woman.
And so it's her fault, because if she weren't here, I wouldn't be this upset. And I would be way more on board with this, which we all know is not true, because he doesn't like Zach. He said that multiple times. He confirmed it again this episode.
He's also wandering around and muttering again about how Zach's a bastard and making fun of Lydia for... He keeps throwing around the words holy and bastard at any point that he possibly can.
I think Ethan was a little bit jealous that Zach's whole reason for going with blue is because it would make his eyes pop, and Ethan has to admit the bastard does pop in blue. He hates to admit
the color season, it's true.
He's not
This is
wrong.
a science.
If it was hunter green,
not the same.
Wouldn't have the same effect. It wouldn't. And now they know.
Have to give it to him.
Man, the son of a bitch knows color theory.
Kim is having a really rough time. I don't know if it's because she's not just used to this much manual labor, but she has to make her way over to where Ethan is chucking the tables to try to calm him down. And she is panting every step of the way.
Okay, this part got me because Kim was like, oh, I could tell Ethan's a little upset right now. And then if I don't go and like quell this and take care of it, then it's just going to turn into a whole thing. Her way of talking Ethan down is like, hey, I know you're upset right now. Well, there's a lot more like huffing and heavy breathing in between because whatever she had to get over there, she's mic'd up for the whole process, so it's...
Bottle up all the rage that you have right now because we're going to use it later.
Yeah, don't
I've got
do
a
this.
plan.
Don't do this right now. Do it later.
We're going to have the whole family sit Lydia down tonight, the night before her wedding, and we're all going to unload about all the things that we hate about Zach.
It'll be like
so just keep working on your list.
The airing of grievances before Festivus. That's how we're going to address this.
What a terrible plan. You're a terrible mother, Kim Plath.
She's just
Kimberly Marie Plath. That's what I've decided her full name is.
Fanning the flames of the anger here. And because she's not actually addressing anything. She's not telling him to like, hey, take a break. Don't do this right now. Because you're just causing a scene. You're making very apparent that you are upset. Everybody here knows that you're upset. We get it. Message received. But like, you can't be doing this right now.
I'm holding out hope that Micah will, first of all, not participate in whatever's going down this evening, but also that maybe he'll get them to back off.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen.
He does seem like the only one who is semi-rational about everything, that he thinks that Ethan and Isaac are definitely overreacting. And that in the end, this is Lydia's decision.
Well, and why are you making it such a big deal? And at the time that it is, it's the day before the wedding. What do you think is going to change through a conversation that you're going to have with Lydia at this point? The best case scenario is that you make her wildly upset and she now knows how you guys feel. But like, what does that add to the day for her?
Oh, well, it ruins the wedding.
Yeah. Great.
You know, she'll have really terrible memories to look back on, and that's really what we're trying to accomplish here.
It's just going to stress her out. Yeah, this is just going to make things
No,
worse.
I'm sorry. Veronica deciding to attend is what's going to stress her out.
Well, that's what stressed Ethan out, which then that stresses Lydia out. So again, that's Veronica's fault because if she wasn't here, Ethan wouldn't be this upset, which again is not true.
Ethan is over by the truck again because there's got to be something in that vehicle that is keeping them that close to it. They're like tethered to this white truck.
Well, it's just that's the PP feels small. So I gotta get in the truck. I have to rev an engine. I have to, I have to do man things. I have to do really bad form push-ups on the ground next to a truck. I need to do. I'm surprised he didn't get in the bed of the truck to do the push-ups. I feel like that would have been like an extra level for him.
He needed to like crush a beer can as he was doing the push-ups as well.
Yeah. These were terrible push-ups, were they not? I mean, I am horrible with push-ups.
Like, I'm not good at push-ups either, but
I have spaghetti noodle arms and my torso is way too large. Okay? Like we'll say it how it is.
If he was at CrossFit, none of those push-ups would have counted. So to say you're doing 100, sometimes maybe 200 push-ups to get out all of your manly aggression.
Well, I usually just keep doing push-ups until I start to lose form. So you guys just missed the first 250.
Sure. You're still at 0.
Well, I did a bunch behind the barn, but you guys weren't able to catch those on camera.
This actually scared me because I don't like that when he gets angry, he has to find a physical outlet to get rid of that anger. I think that's just a very thin line between we're doing push-ups and maybe we're hitting somebody.
Family Annihilator vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of hitting somebody, that is going to happen after the wedding.
But it's not who you expect. It's who you least suspect. Even though the warning signs were there because Isaac did say multiple times he's going to lose it. He wasn't kidding. He is going to lose it.
And he told Micah, so Micah knew.
Micah knew. Don't poke the bear.
He didn't take it seriously.
Gotta keep your distance there. Don't let him close the gap on you.
Barry has just been preoccupied all day with being the center of attention. Is this his wedding?
He's loving it. He is full support mode. He's class clown.
The wedding jester.
Oh my gosh.
He's thinking of funny things that he's going to say when he gets his moment to speak.
Eating it up.
And Kim's sitting on the bench the whole time. Because I guess she couldn't stand for the entirety of the rehearsal.
She gets wrapped in a blanket at some point too, because I guess it is pretty chilly. And then she had a dress on, but didn't bring a coat.
This is her house.
It's one of her houses.
Barry.
Not anymore.
Barry threw all her stuff out already.
It's
been gone for a long time.
Oh, you know what we forgot about? The best interaction that Veronica had this entire episode was when Moriah mousily came up to her in front of the camera, of course, because the camera's right there too. And so they had to whip pan over. Here comes Moriah haunting her way across the field.
Like Wednesday Addams or something.
Looming, lumbering in. And so she comes rolling up and just, "Hey, Veronica, I'm so glad you can make it."
Your face. Veronica was like, "No, you're not. You're not. Nobody's glad I'm here."
Do you know what my theory is behind this?
What?
Moriah is making friends with Tegan. Moriah is making friends with Kaylin. Kaylin and Tegan were talking shit about Veronica earlier in this episode on their own. Moriah was seen by a truck with Tegan or Kaylin. I don't know. I can't really tell them apart when they're separated from each other.
Same.
They just blend together. It mushes together as one face for me. And so she was talking with one of them. I think she needed to make it a point that she's going to go up to Veronica. She wanted to get a reaction out of Veronica if she could.
Oh, you think she's trying to stir the pot?
To have Veronica blow up, and then
because
she
now
gets to
she's
be,
got allies, so it's safe for her to do it.
Where she gets to turn around to them again and say, "Oh, she just flipped out on me because that's Veronica."
She could be the victim again.
Yes.
Well, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
Veronica's on some good meds today.
She has had her animal therapy. She is like, her tank is full. Her patience, she's there, like she was ready to deal with what she was going to deal with today. And Moriah is part of that equation, and she was prepared.
They all thought she was going to be the one who's going to have a big explosion. And then we have to watch Ethan speed off of the property. That's how we close the episode.
Okay. Yeah. For peeling out the way that he did, because there were people that were closer to the car than we even saw. There was somebody who was leaning against like that building that he was parked right next to. As he floored it and backed out of there, Tegan is standing in front of the car. She's witness to all of this.
And this would not be the first time that there had been an accident in which someone was hit by a car on this property.
This is what I'm saying. We know how long it takes for an ambulance to get to this property.
It's not good.
Long. It's too long.
The preview for next week is unhinged.
Well, this is the fruits of Mama Plath's labors all day, because not only did she defer Ethan's enragement here for, hey, save it for a conversation with Zach later tonight. She had that same conversation with Isaac, who was not doing well with any of this. He wasn't coping with this.
Oh, it's okay, because later we're going to tell her that we think this is the worst mistake that she'll make in her entire life.
We'll just bring all of the evidence and the facts in front of her, and then she'll change her mind, and then we'll all feel better, okay? No, that's not how that's going to go. But this is full display of there's a ton of people, particularly adult men, who have zero ways of dealing with their emotions. And then now they're trying to navigate this complicated scenario that they found themselves in, where they feel helpless. They feel like there's nothing that they can do to change this. And you just got to go with it.
No, they're going to channel that into aggression, and then they're going to hurt somebody.
It doesn't sound like the conversation goes well. Doesn't sound like they change any minds.
No, I am shocked because Lydia has been doing a lot of interviews, and she has made it sound like there were things that she took issue with. But what we're seeing in the preview, I don't know how you forgive your mother or your siblings for ruining the night before your wedding in the way that it appears they do. Zach seems mad.
Well, this leads it up to the whole thing that they're building around now is, will there be an objection at the ceremony?
Yeah, they're going to need to just revise the vows and say, just don't say that part.
Skip that part.
We don't need to ask anyone if they object.
Because they won't even realize it.
Because we're going to get married anyway.
They're too drunk. They're too high. Germany. They're not going to figure it out. They're going to realize that
they're going to think they missed their opportunity.
They thought that it was coming, but it never got there. So that's it.
The real winner in this situation is Olivia, because she's watching this from home and probably thinking, thank God I was not part of any of this. I did not have to try to intervene. I didn't have to try to calm all of these men down. I didn't have to tell my husband to behave himself at his sister's wedding. This is why I got out of the situation I was in.
I'm sure Veronica tried to FaceTime her a couple of times while she was alone.
Leaving her on
She was just waiting for Micah to come back, stranded on her own.
There's a lot of videos of cows being sent to Olivia.
Yeah.
Well, next week's the big day.
Or like a first part of the big day? You think they're going to split it up a little bit?
I think it's going to be a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have to see the whole lead up to the wedding itself, because what's going to happen the night before is going to be a big confrontation. And then we know after the wedding, there's a physical altercation. I think they're going to leave us on that.
Yeah, they're not going to give all of it away here for the singular episode. It's going to have to go to the next one.
No, we need a supersized wedding episode, though.
Pretty much.
Quick announcement before we go. Few things that are coming up on the pod. We're going to be hosting after parties for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City over on our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod on Tuesday nights.
So those are going to be open to all members. So even if you're not a paid member on the Patreon, you still want to be part of the after parties there, you can go sign up as a free member as well to get access to those. And then you'll see the emails come through as soon as we go live.
And then Seeking Sister Wife returns on September 22nd. So we are going to be recapping everything that's going on with the Merrifields, the Davis family. We've got 3 new families to meet.
A lot coming up, so make sure you stay tuned.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.